Hey everybody, welcome to another edition of the Mile High Game Guys Board Gaming Podcast. I'm your host Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And as always, we're going to talk about a lot of board games and board game related stuff.
And a lot of not board game related stuff.
Probably, because we like to ramble.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I feel like we use the word ramble too much now. It's lost its effect.
Maybe.
Stray off course.
Yes.
We are adrift in a sea of
Bullshit.
random thoughts and bullshit.
Mainly bullshit.
Mainly bullshit. So, I don't know about
no
you.
battle either. We're just sitting there.
Yep.
And we're just,
And it's not even a creek, so we're not going anywhere.
Exactly.
Just still water.
Yeah. Still bullshit water.
Stagnant. Oh,
That's our lives, everyone. Stagnant bullshit.
Thank you
water.
for listening into that.
Yeah.
They're fantastic. I don't know what these guys are talking about. I love my life. All right. I don't know about you guys, but I am loving my life right now because I finally got like a solid weekend worth of board gaming in. I played a lot of games this weekend. Not to mention game night last week. And then we got game night in 2 nights at a new venue. I'm feeling pretty stoked.
How last minute was that venue?
He's been trying to look at him for a while.
They replied to my email at I think about 2 today. When I posted, if you pull up Facebook, whenever I posted that, that's when it got confirmed.
That's what I figured.
Yeah. And it's going to cut into my editing time tomorrow because I got to go swing by and
meet
with them beforehand.
Do they know what nightmare that we're bringing upon them?
I tried to give them a little bit of a clue, but nobody ever does. Nobody's ever prepared their first time.
Like, how many did we have at Odyssey? Which is same neighborhood-ish, right?
Yeah.
It's
honestly, we had like 40-ish.
Yeah,
Okay.
35 to 40.
This is actual like restaurant?
A little bit more. It's Klein's Beer Hall.
Do they have their own food?
I don't know. That's one of the things I'm going to check with them tomorrow. I do believe I think they do, but I don't know for sure. But a few different people, Eric said that like they got a ton of space. Richard was the one who originally recommended them.
Oh.
So they got a bunch of beer, a bunch of space.
I know one person
Should work
who's
really well.
extremely happy, and that would be Nick because we're not going to Colorado Springs.
Yes.
Colorado Springs?
Well, no, it's
his running joke when we go like anywhere further south than like Diebold.
Central. Yeah.
One of these days, I really just want to have one in Colorado Springs.
All right, everyone drive an hour and a half.
Yeah, pretty much. We can carpool. It's all good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get real drunk and drive an hour and a half back.
It doesn't end poorly.
So as soon as you posted that, I was pulling it up at work, and then someone next to me was like, "Hey, have you ever been to Klein's Beer Hall?" I was like, "Did you just look at my phone and know?" And he's like, "No." I was like, "It's right here." And he's like, "What the fuck?" Because he lives in that area and goes there. And he was like, "Hey, have you ever been there?" And I was like, "No, we were just doing game night, see?" And it was a weird coincidence. And he's like, "Weird. Get their brats."
Oh, they have good brats?
I think they have brats.
Well, okay.
And then pumpkin beer, which I'm excited
Pumpkin beers
about.
are good.
Because I tried.
Megan will like that.
I tried to find the Dogfish Pumpkin Ale. Totally gone already.
Really?
It's fucking not even October.
It's one of their more popular.
I mean, it is a good one.
Yeah.
Wait, what kind of is it IPA because it's Dogfish or okay?
No,
it's a pumpkin.
Dogfish does a lot of stuff that's not IPA.
Okay.
Yeah.
They're just really famous for their whatever minute.
I think
series.
I just have a mental block on them after I think I tried a 90-minute IPA once.
That
and I was just
is very much.
Sometime I'm gonna have to try and sneak a 240
oh god
over for Zach.
A 240?
They have it's
That's a 120.
120 is one that they do regularly. I'm pretty sure they did a 240. That was like an incredibly limited release.
So, I mean, the 120 is incredibly limited.
Yeah.
I also saw a 20th anniversary Dogfish beer. It was 17%.
Ooh.
And it was $46 for a 4-pack.
We weren't kidding when we said we were going to talk about not game related stuff.
No, we're talking about beer now.
We are.
This is now a beer podcast because all 3 of us are totally not drinking beer right now.
This is going to be really fitting, hopefully maybe someday when we have the Podfather on.
What?
That's Stephen Bonacore.
Stephen Bonacore, the Podfather.
Who is
because
that?
Oh my god.
Now he'll never come on.
He's the guy that runs Stronghold Games, and he does the Board Game Insider podcast with Ignacy Trzewiczek.
Oh,
yes, from Portal Games, the guy that
those people.
He's the guy that did Robinson Crusoe.
Oh, okay, all right. Now you just gotta get it to my.
Ignacy did Portal.
Gotta get to my level.
Portal game. Also Imperial Settlers.
Yes.
Okay.
Which is a fantastic game. As is Robinson
and
Caruso.
No, shut the fuck up, Adrian. Everyone know that Adrian has. It feels like it's out of spite. Yes. We'll always pronounce it wrong. So
absolutely out of spite.
Any future emails correcting him will go to deaf ears. So
pretty much.
And 2 pairs of agreement ears.
Yes, yeah.
But no, so Stephen Monacore, aka the Podfather, because he goes on all the podcasts.
Aha.
He also really likes to drink beer, so he'll fit in nicely here.
When we were at Gen Con, we gave him a beer. So
What?
yeah,
We totally did.
yeah.
Damn it.
Yeah,
Man, I need to email him. Like
Pandepic
now.
Legacy.
I need to email him fucking now.
At
He was the guy in the
Pandepic
guy in the
He
big robe.
was the guy in the big robe. He was going to go test out the dragon and the flagon, or help release it at the Cards Against Humanity booth.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay. I think I saw that guy,
Yes.
but I was busy having
the
a
game.
heat stroke in a hazmat suit.
That sounds about right. Yeah, but no, that was him. Yeah,
Oh yeah, so
Okay.
I totally.
Yeah.
We even have an in. We've given him beer.
we've given him beer, and he really liked the Pandepic. So
Well, there we go.
there
Yeah.
you go.
Speaking of beer, I just had to take a big drink there, and it tried to go down the wrong hole.
Stop putting it in
yep.
the wrong hole, and you'll be good to go.
So Jeff,
Yes.
did you play anything recently?
Yeah, to get back on track.
I figure 6 minutes is enough.
6 is enough. Did I play anything relevant to board games? I played 2.
Yeah, you
Total-
gamed with me on 2 different occasions.
Yes.
So.
And then game night.
Uh-huh.
So we play a little Captain Sonar.
Yes. Well, you guys
I
did.
still love that game.
Yeah.
Where were we at again?
We were at
Factotum.
Okay. All right.
I played as radio operator for the first time, who's the guy that listens to the other captain, and I pinned down Adrian's boat hard. Like he was captain, and I just fucking on him the whole time.
Yeah.
We got like 3 shots off, and all 3 were direct or indirect hits.
So, I was watching you guys play, and it is very interesting to watch 2 teams play Captain Sonar when you are not playing, because you get to watch them talking, and like all the radio officers are talking to the captains, and you're just like, in my mind, I'm just like, nope, you guys are wrong.
So wrong.
So I'm pretty sure, I think at one point, I know at least one point the other captain said west and meant
Me.
east. No, the other captain.
Jeff's captain.
Yes. So I think at one point it sort of messed with Greg's.
That makes so much sense.
I know.
I wasn't keeping track of my captain's sheets.
No, I know you didn't. Yeah. So that's something to look out for, is to make sure the captain is saying
Accurate.
they're accurate.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that it is tricky with that game. I really like it, and it's a bunch of fun. It's great for game nights. You know, getting 8 people drinking and screwing around, shooting each other with torpedoes is a bunch of fun. But especially when you're drinking and doing things and it's loud, saying the wrong thing and then doing something else, or even if you're just the radio operator and you hear the wrong thing, because it's not like you can ask them to repeat every single thing they say. They'll get real sick of that. Just be like, no, your job is to pay attention.
The captain making sure to always say head west, head north.
We made some rule adjustments to how they're supposed to be.
Yeah.
And one which was, it was hard to hear.
Yeah.
You have to say head west, head north.
I was
Head
looking
because you could be
online, and
talking,
basically
over to your
people were
engineering and
saying
be like
that.
north, east, west, like
Yes.
what's good, north, east, west, what, and then like the other radar, if he's hearing north, east, west, like holy shit, they're moving so fast.
Yeah.
You know, so we made it. Yeah,
Not
when
everyone
you move,
is your captain.
When you move, you
captain.
say head north, head south, head east.
and that
So,
helps with the noise that we usually run into.
I also played a radio operator, not in that game. That game I was a captain and got sunk. That was the last game of the night, and it was the only game I lost all night. But the other game where I was finally radio operator for the first time, it took us a little longer. It wasn't nearly as rapid as
was a
Jeff's
pretty
destruction. It was a
long
long
game,
game.
yeah.
But, you know,
30 minutes maybe?
yeah, probably. But as soon as, like, there was a point where, like, I lost them. I don't know where I got mixed up. And I lost them for a little while, and then I found them again. I was like, oh, I know right where you guys are. You're done. You're done.
That's such a great moment where you're just like, I fucking got you.
There's some movie where somebody says that. He's like, I fucking got you. I fucking got you. I don't know what movie,
don't
but it's on the tip of my brain. It's been on the tip of my brain since Wednesday because
Gotcha.
that's what it reminds me of. But yeah, no, super stoked.
Another rule that we're messing up is when the XO, first mate, charges a weapon, he has to say it out loud what is charged.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I mean, that makes sense.
Okay. So he's just going like,
I'm not
charging sonar, charging drone.
No,
or
like when
it's-
it is charged.
Oh, okay.
Like torpedoes, ready. He has to say it out loud.
Which,
Oh, that
I
makes
mean, I
sense.
say it out loud to my captain. I
Yeah.
always do. I'm
Well,
like, Captain, sonar's
yeah.
ready. Captain, this is ready. Captain, this is ready.
Is it they have to say it loud enough for the captain or for each team to
I
hear
would
it?
assume as loud as
Okay.
the other team could hear.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
Probably.
But it's getting played a whole bunch.
Yeah.
So I'm sure it'll be played again this week.
And we have reclaimed the box.
Yes, we left.
Oh,
the
that's
box.
right. Yeah.
We got locked outside
Yep.
because we stayed playing Captain Sonar. So like the bar closed and left us sitting on their patio playing.
Yep.
It was pretty good times.
Yeah.
So I believe you guys played something else too.
Well, real quick, I played a solo game of Scythe
Oh, that's right. Yes.
against the Automa, and
Yep.
it fucking wrecked me hard. That AI does not use resources and just spawns things
Nice.
and destroys you.
Well.
Yeah.
I know we're going to talk about Scythe later.
Yes.
Hopefully, maybe next episode.
Yeah, hopefully next one.
If we can get some plays
But we can
in.
get
But I
some
finally-
good insight into that.
Yeah. But I finally have a hint of how Scythe actually works because I've owned it since it came out.
No.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yep.
Yeah, I don't think we've heard you mention that before, Jeff. You have Scythe? What?
Yeah, I've had it for months.
Oh, okay.
So then before we move on to the other thing you were just hinting at, Zach, the other game I got to play at game night, I crushed at Robo Rally.
That's what I heard.
I did very well, despite, as Robo Rally goes, just having my initial plans fall to pieces. And then I just lucked my way into winning.
Welcome to Robo Rally.
Very ahead of everybody else.
There you go.
So it was pretty glorious. But everybody had a bunch of fun. A couple of robots. We were playing a map with a bunch of holes. So we had 2 robots falling off all the time. I don't think Julie ever really got out of the starting spot. She struggled.
Why am I spinning in circles?
But everybody had a whole bunch of fun. It's another one of those games that's good for like a game night scenario, like our style game nights, where it's loud and boisterous and like, oh shit, fuck, no,
Yeah.
no.
Maybe
just
not
exciting.
that specific copy anymore.
Oh no, I think it's fine. Most
Is
of
it?
the
Okay.
beer just went in the lid.
Oh,
Ooh, did not hear about that.
Yeah, beer, right. It was getting put away. It wasn't even mid game. It was Ant was putting it away, and somebody bumped a beer and spilled it into the box.
Ugh, that's not good.
So, but I think it pretty much just went onto the box top and onto. He didn't have all of his things punched out, so it went a little bit onto the cardboard sheet with the remaining punch outs.
Oh, okay.
But whether that affects it too much or not, we'll see. Now maybe he'll not bring it anymore because it was a close call and he doesn't want to lose his older edition.
Yeah, it's a
Robo
pretty
Rally.
old one edition. Yeah.
Which are
I
the
did-
better editions.
huh. I didn't know there was multiple editions of that.
Yeah. So
Editions.
Now we know.
Foreshadowing.
Thank you, Zach.
You're welcome.
Thank you. Aside from that, Friday I had a legacy game day.
Well, that's true. Okay, half.
Yeah.
Continue.
So I got to play 2 different legacy games. We started a brand new Risk Legacy because we never finished our old one. And by we, I mean me and Jeff and,
and not Zach.
I'm sure our listeners are going to love that.
I'm sure they
Zach.
will. Well, I hope they feel the same as I do right now. When I walked in on you guys playing it, I felt not even mad so much as just disappointed.
Yeah, you knew for a long time that we were playing, and that unfortunately there wasn't room for you.
Didn't even give me a choice.
It was spoken for well before I had the opportunity to offer it to you. I'm sorry. But anyway, we played. First one went really well. Part of the reason I wanted to start it again is both Megan and her brother, who's currently living with us, really like Risk and grew up playing a lot of Risk. And so they expressed interest in Risk Legacy. Jeff and Wesley hadn't played before. So it's me who's played before and then 4 newbies. And Megan's little brother totally ran house. He started in Asia, took all of Asia over, and then just crushed the rest of us.
Nice.
I was almost eliminated twice.
Yeah. Yep.
Did you guys open up anything yet?
No.
No.
Because we weren't able to eliminate Jeff either time.
Australia held strong.
I tried real hard. I took his base for a little bit, but then I lost it.
Okay.
Yep.
So, but it was fun. It was a good start to it. I'm sure we'll play it some more in.
You've put down
upcoming-
stickers.
I would hope that you would
Stickers.
play it some more.
Yeah, stickers are on the board. We put pretty much everybody put their scars out, I think, except Brian. So he won also without putting his scar out, which is kind of impressive.
Our scars are in interesting places.
Yeah.
That's what I saw.
So,
yeah.
maybe do an episode about it later on down the road or something. There's other people who want to play Zach. We should get another copy and start another group, and then we can
Blackjack
compare
and
and
hookers.
contrast. Yeah, exactly.
Were you going to mention Pillars of Eternity?
Oh,
Did you play it?
I completely forgot all about that. Yes,
You finally played it?
before we did Pandemic because I did 3 games on Friday. Yes, finally
Yeah.
got to play Pillars of Eternity. You were still at work, Zach.
Yep.
Oh, that is true, but I can still be offended.
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I got kicked out of work early because I worked too much.
Yeah.
And,
So Jeff, Megan, and I finally got Pillars of Eternity to the table. Lords of the Eastern Reach.
After much debating on what to play.
How was
like,
it?
It's good.
Yeah.
The rule book doesn't explain combat very well, I don't think.
Yeah, combat's
Before we play it again, they put out a bunch of videos like during the Kickstarter campaign. I'm gonna go back and rewatch those, like how to plays and stuff, and just make sure that we're playing combat right, because I'm not sure.
It is a very unique combat system, which doesn't always bode well.
Yeah, essentially, like when you fight monsters, like you flip over from one of the 3 adventure decks, and if a monster comes up, you're fighting him with whatever troops you sent. But whether he does 1 damage or 4 damage, you need to have someone take that damage and they die. Like so if you put out like a 4 armor guy, he can take up to 4 damage. But he dies even if he takes 1.
Yeah, you have to destroy the troop
kind of
to
bizarre.
take the damage. So if it only does 2 damage, you still have to destroy the troop that takes the damage.
But so we played that. And then we played Risk Legacy, and then we played a little bit of Pandemic Legacy.
Did not go well for us.
Without spoiling, Zach, why don't you talk about that for 1 second?
Okay. It just did not go well for us at all. Pretty much.
But it was not anything month related, as it was just a general pandemic mechanics related.
I'm not going to answer that. I'm just going to say it didn't go well.
Okay.
I'm not going to tell you whether or not it was game related or just because of new mechanics or old mechanics. It just didn't go well.
All I faintly remember is you had like 15 outbreaks that would have chained or something.
Yeah.
So we were at 7 outbreaks.
And then we had 8 hit.
Yeah. So
as in 1 hit that caused 8 additional.
Would have.
Yeah, would have. Yes. We had our.
That's impressive.
It was real bad.
Yes.
Outbreak City.
Trying to stay away from spoilers.
Yes.
If you listen to our pandemic one, then you have an idea of like where we are in our storyline.
Well, we're a couple of months beyond that now.
Yeah, we've moved a couple months beyond, and it's just progressively gotten worse. So.
Possibly in the very month that you're listening to this.
Yeah. It was September that we lost the first.
Unless you're not listening in September, in which case,
tough.
Yeah. Too bad. Way to not be current.
So listen in like the next 4 days.
Right. Yeah.
2 of which it won't even be out.
Right, yeah.
So.
And then we also played Le Havre.
Well,
yesterday.
So that was yesterday. Yesterday we played what will be coming up here in a second, our discussion of the day, our review. We played another Mansions of Madness. But then Jeff, we were going to play Scythe, try and get more plays of that in, and Jeff bailed.
Yeah.
And so I forced Zach to play Le Havre.
Yes.
Forced.
I mean,
it was absolutely forced.
Yeah. And I did enjoy it. I still think off of 1 play, I liked my 1 play of Caverna more. But it was definitely an interesting enough game. And it does take a lot longer than you would think. Even with the amount of people playing. It still took 3 hours at least.
You played 3 players?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's a long game.
It is a long game.
It is.
And
so I think I got second. I'm not sure because I sort of
forgot to score something.
Yeah, there was a card that was like based on how many buildings I needed, and I forgot to score that one. So
been there.
Yeah.
Without it, he got third.
But we were all within 20 points of each other, and I think I got 16 points off of that card.
Yeah.
And then who would have been in last?
Adrian.
Yeah.
The standard.
And I thought I was doing so good, too. It was very frustrating. But
I sold a lot of fish for 51 coins, too, which was pretty nice.
So Zach, question for you. So a lot of times I've seen people say that Le Havre replaces Agricola for them. And then, as we talked about before when we were doing Caverna, some people think Caverna is like Agricola 2.0. I felt after playing Le Havre the first time, I don't quite get that because they scratch 2 different itches. Like, yeah, they're both Uwe games and they're both resource management, worker placement games, but I feel they are significantly different.
I definitely agree for that. I do think even after the 1 play that Caverna, I don't need to play Agricola if I can play Caverna, but with Le Havre, it didn't feel the same. Like you said, there's definitely the resource management aspect, but the way that it handles that and how you do your workers and stuff like that, it feels a lot different.
Right. So I love Le Havre now. If I wish it was a little bit shorter so I could get it to the table more often, but I do love that. I like all the mechanics in that game. I think it feels very well designed and works well. And unlike both Agricola and Caverna, where I felt a lot like there was 1 or 2 things I really need to do, and if I get blocked, I'm screwed. In Le Havre, I always felt like if I got blocked on something I was planning to do, there were like 3 or 4 other things I could do that would still vaguely work towards something of a plan, which is good for me because I don't get nearly as frustrated at getting blocked. It's more like, oh, well, I was going to do that, damn it, versus, oh, my life is over. I'm never going to score.
Yeah, there were no
slaps.
floor slaps in Le Havre.
No.
I will say
Much more friendly.
right? Yeah. So I think that out of the three, Le Havre was for me at least, was the worst in terms of I don't really know what to do in the beginning. I was more of just like, oh, I guess I'll take these things. I guess I can turn this in. And I slowly got an idea of what I wanted to do about halfway through. But I felt like even Caverna, like the first couple turns of that, I was like, okay, I think I have an idea of what I want to do.
And that's fair, because even this second time playing it, I kind of had that same reaction. Like, I was the first player, and it was like, okay, well, I get to go first. And I have every option on the table available. Shit.
Yeah.
I don't know what I want to do. So
It did have some interesting mechanisms in there, though. So, yeah, I would probably play it again at some point.
awesome.
So,
Cool. Zach, did you play any other games besides Le Havre and Mansions?
nothing that we haven't talked about before, I don't
Right on.
think. So,
Cool.
I think I want it stockpile again, I think. That's about it.
Wow. And so the world continues
Yes.
to turn,
Yeah.
basically.
Yeah, pretty much.
As the world turns.
Yes.
These.
Are the days of our lives.
There's no board games about soap
No.
operas, I don't think.
Oh, and I don't know
I'm sure
about
there's
that.
like a trivia pursuit for Days of Our Lives or
Okay.
something like that.
I don't know if that really counts. Does the networks count?
That sounds like a good ending to Banter.
Yes. I just got the pledge manager for Massive Darkness.
As did I.
Goodbye, wallet.
Yeah, did you still do $1? Did you do the?
I did $1.
I did $1 as well.
So now I owe everything.
Well, the nice thing with $1 is I look at it, I'm like, that's $150 at least.
I just did a late backer and I didn't even have to do $1.
Well, I mean, it counts towards our pledge.
yeah,
so.
it counts towards.
If you and I ordered the exact same thing, mine would be $1 less. Because that
Did you
matters.
get everything? Like all the additional rattlings and stuff?
I haven't
Yeah.
done it yet.
Oh,
I looked
okay.
at it
Yes.
and was like, oh God, how am
Yeah,
I
I
going
don't-
to afford this?
I know.
Yeah.
It sounds like if 3 of my friends are buying this, there's a good
Yeah.
chance I might not buy it. I might put that money towards Mechs v Minions.
Jeff, maybe
and
we
some
could
other things.
work some kind of team up thing out. Since I have a lot of your Zombicide, maybe I could throw you some cash and we could just go in on one copy of
You know how much
Massive
all those
Darkness.
season 1 promos are worth?
Well, yeah, they're worth a lot, but I mean, it's not like this stuff's probably not going to be worth much. We'll talk about that later off air.
Yeah.
Off air. Banter's done. We have reached
It's over.
allotted banter time.
Yes. No, that was part of news. Was that the pledge manager for
Oh, yeah.
Massive Darkness?
Oh,
There
I
you go.
transitioned so seamlessly. I didn't even know I transitioned.
I noticed when I threw open my mouth.
That's always a clear sign.
So for news, cool mean you're not. Massive Darkness Pledge Manager is
Open.
live. And they are
October
accepting
23rd.
late backs.
Yes. Like
So, yeah.
they always do. Well,
Yeah.
not always, but they will keep doing, I'm assuming, because it worked
least
really well
for-
for Blood Rage. That was the first one I think they did. And then Zombicide Season 3.
I don't remember which came first at this point.
It was either chicken or the egg, I'm not sure. So.
I'm sure it
Yeah.
was one of them.
So you have almost an entire month
Yes.
before they're going to want their money.
Yeah, and even then, I'm sure you can. That's just the first. They'll take your money if you're going to throw it at them.
Yeah.
No matter the date, I think.
You'll just get it after everyone else.
Yes.
But so also in the news is
That Hanjin, I believe that's their name, a Chinese company, a Chinese shipping company. They went out of business, and I feel really bad for the others, Seven Sins backers, specifically the European ones, because I believe all of their shit got caught on a boat when they went out of business, and so.
and that's not the only game I was looking at. I don't remember now what
they-
it was, but I saw that. There's like 3 or 4
Yes.
different major game shipments.
WizKids had some stuff, and I think Hasbro too. maybe?
Something from Fantasy Flight, I think.
Yes.
Too,
Oh,
because
yes.
Somebody joked about like that they saw a comment where somebody's like, "Well, why doesn't Fantasy Flight upgrade their boats?"
Yes, because
I think that was on Shudder Sit
Asmodee
Down.
has just so much money to throw around for that.
Yeah, just buy
I mean,
shipping vessels.
Do they just sink the boat when they go out of business?
No, it just
It just sits
until
there.
it just sits there because until they get paid, the people aren't going to unload the stuff.
Oh.
So
Yeah. So and I don't.
That's where all the Games Workshop games are.
Yeah.
All the reprints.
Oh man, those are gonna be worth so much money when they
Yeah.
hit. Let's go rob a shipping container. That can't be very hard, right?
no, we're not going to do that.
Wink,
Wink, nudge, nudge.
camera.
Yeah,
Also, in recent board gaming news, Jamey Stegmaier does kind of a little blog over on Stonemaier Games where he talks about being an industry insider. He does a lot of awesome inside stuff on like Kickstarters, how to run a successful Kickstarter, things like that. He had an article he put up last week, right pretty much as we were doing our episode, so we didn't get to cover it then. But he talks about Stonemaier Games offers on all their Kickstarters a 100% unconditional money-back guarantee, including shipping.
Yeah, they'll pay for the shipping, right?
Yeah. And so he put up a little blog post. It's really good. I recommend going and reading through the whole thing. But basically, he's talking about the results of Scythe and their money-back guarantee from that game, because it was a huge game, funded a ton of money.
So many copies.
Yeah. And so what he wanted to talk about, and the gist, I think, of this post, he never really quite comes out and says it, but I think the idea was that it's not going to cost you that much, even on a huge game like this, to offer something like an unconditional money-back guarantee. And essentially, he breaks down out of the 37,823 backers who actually got physical reward, he had a total of 22 requests for money-back guarantee.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah. And, some of them was like one guy, he backed for a copy, but then somebody else got it for him for a gift. And he's like, well, I don't need 2 copies. So he returned one. And Jamey even says in the article, like, on most of those people who wanted to return him, he was like, just so you know, like, this is your Kickstarter copy is going to be worth more than you're going to get back on the secondary market. Like, you could sell it for more. And a couple of them, he said, took him up on it, but most of them still sent it back. But it's a really interesting insight into kind of the backside of having a massively successful Kickstarter.
Yeah.
And I highly recommend reading it. So I will throw a link up to it in the show notes that are available on our website. But yeah, I like a lot of his stuff. I read that blog fairly regularly.
It's a solid blog.
Yes.
Lots of other interesting articles that he has written.
Yep. So
Seems like a cool guy.
yeah,
I've
he does
been-
seem like
Smokes
a pretty cool
cigarettes
guy.
and everything. I don't know if he does.
Let's start that rumor about him.
Jamey Stegmaier smokes a pack a day.
He didn't smell like it. I was in the same room with him. I think
That's
I've mentioned
creepy.
that before.
That's really creepy.
It was at Gen Con. I was at their off-site room.
Nothing you can say right now is going to make that not creepy.
He seems nice.
It feels worse.
He didn't know I was there.
All right, now it's fine. It's all good now. If he didn't know, then it's not creepy.
He was being interviewed at the time.
I hope it was a video interview just to see someone just go, and then just walk away.
I wish I would have done that.
Yeah, I was to say, did you sniff Jamey Stegmaier?
He seems nice.
How many times are you going to say that he seems nice?
I don't know.
One more time? Moving on, there aren't a whole lot of Kickstarter things that have caught our attention here. There's a bunch going right now that are making their money and things. We were going through the list, but one that's shown up on our Twitter feed a lot, I think it just has to do with who we follow, but Mars 445 launched. It's a little card game about trying to go to Mars, and you're like the owners of different corporations that are trying to go. And
Hot
you're
corporate Mars money.
You're mission directors. There it is. Mission directors trying to establish the first colony on Mars. And it's got 18 days to go and currently at $4,000 of its $7,000 goal.
So it hasn't funded yet.
It is not funded. But you got 2 weeks to go check it out, see if it looks like something that would interest you. I kind of like the artwork. I don't know a lot about the actual gameplay. I'm going to be checking up on that here in the near future. Maybe backing it myself. I don't know. We'll see. One that is kind of interesting, if only for the fact that it's a very established, very awesome game from what I hear. I haven't actually got to play it. Heroes of Normandie has a card game coming out.
Tactical card game, I think is what they called
Yes.
What was that game before?
it. Heroes of Normandy. What was it?
Yes.
It is, I think it's a more, sort of a more complicated version of Memoir 44.
Okay.
So
World War II minis type.
Yeah.
I always liked
It's
those
not
games.
minis. It's,
Oh, they don't have minis?
no, it's all cardboard little token things. But I think it's 1v1, you know, and then you're just playing out a scenario and stuff like that.
I like those games, but they're always just kind of impenetrable
Yeah.
to get into.
Yeah, so some of our friends, like, they played the light version, and they're like, okay, this isn't too bad, and they tried the full version, and they're just like they tried to learn the game for an hour, and they're just like, nope, we're just going to back it up.
We're done here.
Yeah. And they had a Cthulhu version of it, too, called Shadows over Normandy. So,
That good old public domain.
I did not realize Shadows over Normandy was Cthulhu version of
Yes,
that game.
I think it's Cthulhu or it's some sort of creature,
Cosmic horror.
Yeah.
Interesting. But yeah, so Heroes of Normandy is a couple of years old. Definitely a two-player war game. And now they're coming out on Kickstarter here with the tactical card game that is also appears to be a two-player game. Has kind of a nice little battle map, a bunch of chits and components.
The arts looks good on it too. So
yep, they're already funded on this one. They're
Not surprised.
66,000 of 11,000 requested, so about 6 times.
pretty much the Heroes of Normandy, that whole line was backed from Kickstarter, so I'm not surprised.
Okay,
Yeah.
I didn't realize that. So go check that one out.
Yeah.
See what you think. And yeah, so that wraps up our news and Kickstarter review. Sorry, there wasn't a whole lot awesomeness for us to cover,
But Spiel is next week?
No,
week
it's
after?
like 3 weeks from now.
Yeah.
3 weeks? Well,
The 13th to 16th of October.
I bet we will start getting rumors next week.
Hopefully.
Yeah.
hopefully. And yeah, so we'll start looking into what's coming out at Spiel and see if there's anything that we feel you, dear listeners,
I'll brush
should
up on
know
my
about.
German so I can read things. So.
Achterschleitet.
We'll have to have some of our German friends on, or
Right.
friends who speak German, because I don't think we have any German friends.
The only German I learned was from Command and Conquer.
Classy.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right, so moving on, we have a hot new board game review for you guys.
It's only a month and a half
Only
since
a
it
month
came
and a half
out.
Since it came out, it's still number 6 on the Board Game Geek hot list.
There we
though.
go. Top
it's
10, we're
it's a
good.
top 10 hot.
Top 10 hot.
We are going to be discussing and reviewing Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition.
Yes, we are.
So, Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition was released earlier this year at Gen Con back in August.
And completely by surprise.
Yes.
Yeah, like we were.
No announcement.
It was an announcement like maybe a week before. But that was it.
Yeah, we were pretty much prepping to leave, ready to go. Had everything, all of our budget accounted for, what we wanted to buy and shit. And then Fantasy Flight's like, oh yeah, by the way, you're gonna give us $100 at Gen Con.
You fools. You thought you had a plan.
And so we ended up with the group of 10 of us that were out there. I think we ended up with 2 copies.
Yes, we did.
And so yeah, but
Some
anyway,
under duress.
Yeah. Yeah.
but yeah. So anyway, Mansions of Madness 2nd Edition released back in August 2016. The 2nd edition was designed by Nikki Valance. She kind of played around with the original design, which was by Corey
I think it's Konixia, something like
Konixia?
that. Yeah.
I'm sure somebody will correct us in an email. So
Call us idiots for not
she
being
took
able to
over
pronounce it
and,
right.
and redesigned his game, and basically they added a lot of app support and stuff.
Yes, they did.
I was published same as the original edition by Fantasy Flight Games, and it is currently ranked number 11 in the thematic game section of Board Game Geek.
Which is impressive.
I can buy that.
Yeah, totally could see it. So, Zach, would you like to give us a quick little run through of the rules and how you play?
My pleasure. All right, so Mansions of Madness is a 1 to 5 player game, and it is fully co-op and app-driven. And the time length of the game is dependent on the scenarios that you play. It can go anywhere from 60 minutes to 360 minutes. So when you're setting up the game, the app handles most of the setup. So you can just basically take it out of the box and just do what the app tells you to do, and you're good to go to start. And so on your turn, which is called the investigator phase, each player can do 2 actions. And these include moving, you can do trading, interacting with things, fight monsters. You can search and explore as well through the app itself. And on some of these things, you are going to be completing tests, and that's just rolling dice. And they have no face on there. They have a success face, and they also have an investigation face that can turn into a success face by clue tokens.
Do you remember what D that is?
It's a D8.
D8.
A
Okay.
good old D8. And so after everyone's turn, it is the mythos phase, and that's where the app basically just tells you shit that happens, and it can have an effect that happens.
Usually bad.
Yeah, always bad. Never a good effect. It can spawn monsters. It can cause monsters to move and then attack players if they get in the same range of the monster, and it can also do horror checks, which is basically if you're in a room with a monster, you're scared of it, and so something bad can happen. And so how you win is determined by the scenario. You sort of start blind. You're just trying to explore and figure out what is going on, and then about halfway through, you'll figure out, oh, I need to do this to win. And you can lose if the time runs out because the app is running a timer in the background of the mythos phase. Not like legitimate timer, but just round timer. And then, but you can also lose if someone dies as well.
Yeah. So that
That
pretty
sounds
much
like a game.
it is a game.
does sound like a
and it's a
game.
game
Yeah.
we've played a few times. So
That we have. We've
What
also played the first edition.
yes,
As well, many times.
Yes.
which I have thoughts and feelings on the matter. So
No one cares.
so first of all, though, before we get to like overall thoughts and feelings on the games, components. What do you guys think overall of the components for second edition?
So I think that I like the dice. I like the first
Unique
edition.
dice.
Yeah, it was unique dice. I'm always a fan of unique dice. I like the boards. I think that between the first edition and the second one, like the quality of the boards, I like the looks of them better. And
I think
also
it got more detailed.
yes,
in
and it signifies if it's indoor or outdoor as well too, so it makes it easier for that respect.
yeah,
Minis, not so
the
much.
minis were a step back.
took a hard,
Yes.
especially the investigator minis.
Yes,
took a hard dive.
They did.
They look real
looked-
bad
it's-
side by side.
Yeah, looking at them by themselves, you're like, oh, these aren't the best. But looking at the investigator ones side by side, like you said, you're like,
First
oh
edition.
wow, you can really tell.
Yeah.
And I feel that part of it was they wanted to push for Gen Con release.
Yeah.
And I can see, obviously I don't know, but I can see them cutting the quality back a little bit in order to hit that deadline.
I haven't seen a comparison of the first and second edition monsters.
Some of them,
Because you can't really compare side by side.
no, I mean, because so they used a lot of the same mold for like the cultists and stuff, so those look the same.
Oh, they're still cultists in the game, of course.
Yes, but I would say that for the most part, maybe they're like 90% as good. You can see a little bit,
Okay.
but it's not like the investigators are the main ones where you can go, oh, that looks worse.
Yeah.
The big monsters
Yes.
look really cool
Yes.
still.
And it might just be because, so I have the first edition and I have both of the first edition expansions,
Right.
Forbidden Alchemy and Call of the Wild. And so it might just be colored because I have both of those, but opening up the second edition box, the core box, I looked at it and I was like, there's some nice stuff, but it feels sort of empty in a way. Like it didn't feel like I got as much as I did from the first edition box.
No, I mean, I think some of that goes into the change from the first edition to second edition, adding in the app support. So you lose all of the keeper cards.
Yes.
You lose just a ton of the other like little
Yes.
tokens and things that keeper plays with. So you definitely are. I mean, you're physically getting less stuff.
Which
Like, there's no way around
I'm
that.
fine. I will say I'm fine with paying, like, to have the cost of the app sort of built into the game.
Yeah.
If it feels like maybe it's a bit too much, but like if it was $60 and then it was like $75 and you had the app in there and like the app was going to do mostly free scenarios from now on, because the base game comes with 4 scenarios and then there's collections that they added that also added a scenario if you could also use if you had the first edition and the expansions of the first
Right.
edition, which brought it up to 6.
So this is where I start to run into an issue with the game. So the app, speaking kind of along with component quality, I've played now 3 games.
Yes.
2 of which we played on PC with the Steam version of the app, which has worked flawlessly. I have not had any issue with the Steam version.
That is correct.
The
yeah.
third game that I played of it, we used it was the second game, but the other one that we played, the tablet, we used my Android tablet, my Galaxy S tab, and it crashed like 3 different times. The sound was cutting out, like we were having issues connecting to Bluetooth.
And then it straight up crashed.
And then towards the end, it straight up crashed, and it didn't save. Like we tried to reload the save, and it wouldn't reload. Like it just wouldn't go back to it, and it ruined it. Like we were right in the middle. We were right at the end of this mission, right in the final turns. Like things were really going. We were getting really into the story, and then the app crashed, and it ruined it. It almost made me just not even want to play it again. I was ready to fire up the podcast equipment and just rip this game to shreds. But luckily, I kept my head and I came back for another playthrough.
Yeah, and it's definitely something that's going to happen once technology enters into a game. There's always that chance. Well, and I know you played the XCOM one.
Yeah, and that's what I was going to say.
Yeah.
I'm not somebody who's like adverse.
Oh
to
no, I understand that. Yes,
app support for games.
Yes.
I totally embrace bringing technology in and making games better. I'm somebody who I like kind of the one versus all mechanics of like even going back to like our pen and paper RPGs, like a DM running a campaign against a group of players. I've been dying to finally get Imperial Assault to the table for that same reason.
Yeah.
My favorite thing with first edition Mansions was being the keeper and being able to make the decisions about how the game played out and what things went after what investigators, and kind of try and craft a story and environment. And then to have all that just taken out of my hands by an app that then crashes, like XCOM, that app, I've never had that app crash.
I think that in one respect, at least, this app handles so much more than the XCOM app.
That's true.
And I think this is the first game that's really had such a centric app to it.
Well, I mean, you can't play the XCOM game without the app.
Yeah, that's true.
But this handles so much. This handles combat. This handles all the health for all the monsters. It has all of this flavor.
All the scenarios.
It randomizes a lot of things.
It randomizes a lot of things.
It
plays
will
music.
Be different.
Yes, and
you can't play the game without that.
And I do agree. I can be an apologist for it, but I was like, it crashed, and I was just like, oh, that sucks. Maybe, but the first time I thought of it, or first time it happened, it was just like, oh, that sucks. But I wasn't immediately just like you, where you were just like, oh, it crashed. Fuck this game. Blah, 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 blah.
I mean, it wasn't that bad, but
it completely.
I was not
your
happy.
Face looked like that when it crashed.
Yeah, I mean, that was by far of the 3 plays we've done of second edition. That was the one where we were getting the most into the story and the characters. That was somewhat driven by Ant at the table, really encouraging us to get into the characters. But I was really getting into that game, and then it crashed, and because of the
nothing you can do,
because of the way it randomizes things and changes things around each time you play. It's not like you can just fire it up and skip ahead a bunch. Like, we kind of did that, but it felt off.
Yeah, and also so the one scenario we played, that one had a set board.
Yeah,
so
it was the only scenario you could have even done that for.
Yes.
Any other scenario, you would have just had to pack up, close up the game, you're done, or start a new 4-hour game.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest problem. I don't know. I know this isn't the first time that Fantasy Flight has done app support for a one versus all game. They have had a lot of success, and a lot of people have been very happy with the Descent app.
I think it was called Road to Legend app. It basically handled all the whatever their version of the
Descent.
Yeah, yes. Descent. Whatever their version of the Keeper is called.
Right.
It
Overlord?
Overlord, yes.
Yeah.
And it basically made it a fully co-op game.
I just call everything mechanic that uses that is just Overlord to me.
There you go.
So I haven't heard, I've heard that people really like it and we're really happy with it. I don't know if it had issues early on with crashing or messing things up, but I also don't know like that game, because it is typically a one versus all, and the app is like a secondary thing you could bring in to replace the Overlord. It's not a mandatory thing to use. Maybe if the app crashes, you could still like have somebody
dig out the cards
and kind of take over.
I mean, for me, that would work about the same if crashing. I don't know how well that game is set up, but yes,
because you'd have to dig everything out and it'd be a pain.
Yeah. And then you'd have to be like, you're not playing anymore. You go over there. Like, you're not playing that guy. You're going to be over there and fight against us now.
But as somebody who loved being a keeper in the first edition, it was definitely a little bit of a blow to my overall opinion and enjoyment of the game to have that completely taken away.
So on the other side, for me, I played the Overlord, I think once, maybe twice, but every other time I was playing as an investigator. I have a space in my heart for cooperative games, and so playing in the 1v all, I tended to go towards the all more than the one. So when we started playing this, for me, it didn't feel like I didn't notice a keeper. Really, like I didn't notice the lack of a keeper as much, because it still felt like how I like to play the game. It still felt the same, where we were all just working together trying to fight against the game.
Yeah.
Where the keeper is just someone controlling the game, but it still, for me, was I'm fighting the game.
Okay. Jeff, you've played both of them. What do you think?
I've played probably 6 games of the first edition, and probably 4 as playing Overlord and 2 as not the Overlord. Mm-hmm. I don't miss it. I mean, I like playing Overlord and I like those kind of games, but it's not something that I felt was torn away from me and ruins the game for me by not being able to crush the pitiful investigators.
Right.
Because the game really just does that anyways.
It does.
But it's hard to say.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's one of the things I liked about being the Overlord is that, as the Overlord, I could have absolutely stomped the investigators. But for me, I always looked at it as an opportunity, kind of like with a pen and paper RPG and being a DM, which I haven't yet taken that step to doing for pen and paper. But something like that, where I could have a set world with a bunch of rules already there for me to act within, I could then use that to help tell a story to the 4 friends that were going through the game, and I could strategically, like, depending on what was going on in the mission, be like, oh, I'm going to spawn an axe an axe murderer guy here, or a cultist here, or, and kind of play with it to make it fit the story more. I feel like sometimes with the app version of this, some of the times things seem a bit arbitrary. I mean, not too bad. It's done a good job. They've done it. I will give them credit. The app is really well done.
When it works.
When it works. I miss having my own say and control in how the story goes. Like, sometimes the monsters coming out, they've done a great job with. They fit the theme, and nothing feels too arbitrary there. But sometimes who they attack seems very arbitrary. Whereas, like, when I was the keeper, I could be like, okay, well, Zach's been getting beat up on over here. I'm going to shift it over to, this other character, or I'm going to move it around a little bit, and kind of that way nobody feels like they're getting crushed individually. Like, the team feels pressure,
unless you want to do that.
Yeah, for me, I always felt, or for this, I feel that because there's no keeper handling that, it's our job. So if I see someone struggling with something, I need to go out and help them, because the game's not gonna pull any punches on there. So I feel like it's, I feel more agency for me. Versus when the keeper is there, because, like you said, the keeper isn't there to necessarily win, or they want to win, but they want to have a good, Whereas the game wants to win.
Yeah,
I mean, so
and has
yes,
a lot.
That's something I do like. Sorry, just a little aside is I like that there is, like, on these scenarios, you usually have to stop something, like 2/3 of the way through. You figure out, oh God, we need to do this, and you can do that, and then you have, like, a full win, or you can have you need to stop it and you don't stop it in time, and some bad shit happens, and you're like, oh, well, now we need to do this. And then there's also, so it has, like, a win, a sort of win, and you just got curb stomped.
You lose. Yeah.
I don't know if I've won a game yet as a full win.
We did the first one we played.
We won our first one.
We were able to stop the ritual before it happened.
We lost our second one after the crash.
Yes.
Like, we recovered as best we could. We lost that one hard. And then I think our third one was a sort of win.
Yes, and the one that you and me played, Jeff, that one was a sort of win.
Yeah, because you played the same scenario twice.
Yes. And that's one thing is, so some of these scenarios have variable maps, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And so when you and me played for the first time, Adrian, it was a completely different map than the one that me and Jeff played. And there are some of the still same elements, but I couldn't be like, oh, I know we need to go over here.
Which is really good.
Yes.
I think only that one mission, and we won't name it, obviously, but that one mission is the only one that's particularly the same every time you do it.
Which makes sense.
And I did
for
see
that
some...
mission.
Yeah, for that mission, because it's really specific on how it does things. I don't think you can have variability in there that much.
And I did see a little bit of randomness that happened on the map, where certain characters would spawn and stuff like that, depending on how you explore, what order you explore.
Yes.
Yeah, the main thing was that was one of the only, so far that's been the only one where there was one particular monster that the app tracked vaguely.
Yes.
And so for that, it needed the same rough layout of the board so that every time it knew, in theory, where the monster, it doesn't directly track it.
No,
but.
yeah. So I've seen some people when they first started hearing about the app, and people started talking about, they're like, oh, well, why isn't it just an app then? Like, like, you're not even playing on the game. But the app, it controls a lot of stuff, but it doesn't control our health. It doesn't control what items we have. Like, it'll spawn some, but then whether
it tells you what items to give out at the beginning of the game,
yes.
and then it'll spawn some on the map that you can then pick up. But it doesn't know if you ever picked them up.
No,
they're
it doesn't
not there.
know if you're getting just horrifically wounded with broken legs and arms and gashed wounds.
I will say I feel like they intentionally did that so that you can't just download the free app and then play.
Yeah.
Like, you need to spend the $100 for the board game.
I think they put in enough to curb the bookkeeping, the annoying bookkeeping and setup that the first edition had.
Right.
And I doubt they went in with a development mind of try and make the game as much as possible or as little as possible.
Right. I think that they're like, we want the app to do these things, to handle all these things that are just cards usually, but we want to have, because I still feel like I'm playing a board game.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Board game plus app, not app with a little bit of board game, because I'm focusing on the app, or on the actual board, looking at things like, okay, well, the monster's here, this, and there's all these search tokens, and and the
tokens are on the board.
Yeah, the tokens are on the board, and so it gives you a good tactile sense, even though a lot of it is on the app.
Absolutely. And then especially like some of the maps, as they reveal as you go along, you're flipping through the tiles, pulling out the next tile, and that's the kind of thing you could do with a human keeper if you really wanted to. Like, all right, well, you guys are moving into this room, pull out this next tile.
Yes.
Things like that, but the app handles it much
I think
smoother.
that was just the difference between the first edition and this one, and I think that's one of my favorite changes.
I agree.
It was like Betrayal style where you're exploring that, and so what's great is that you don't know
what you're supposed to do.
Yeah, you don't know what you're supposed to do. You don't know how big the place is, because when we played the second scenario, we started in a building, and then we started exploring out, and we're like, holy shit, this is really big.
Yeah, all three of them. The third one we played wasn't the biggest one, but it was still.
It felt like it used its
like
space
6
well.
tiles,
Yes.
and it used its space very well.
Yeah.
The other ones were all significantly more. They filled up the table.
And it's possible that we may have opened up another area that we couldn't.
Yeah, we don't know.
Yeah.
Yes.
And we just won't know.
That's also another thing I love, and for me that adds to the replayability.
Yeah.
Is that there's stuff.
Do this better.
Yeah, because I interacted with a guy. I could have been nice, but I tried to be nice, but my character wasn't. I was bad at influence, and so I was like, "Oh, okay, well, I'll just kick this door down then." And he was just like,
ran away.
Yeah, and he was just like, "What are you doing? The monsters are coming!" And he just ran away. And I'm like, "Well, I wanted to talk to him, and now I'd have to actually be trying nice to see if I could actually talk to him next time."
That guy definitely died.
Yeah,
No, I think he got away.
No, there's no way that happens. Remember what universe we're in?
Yes.
I liked it. I liked both versions. I don't like this one any less than the first one. I like them both very well.
And I think that's where I sit. Like, it's unfortunate to me because I feel like Jeff just said, I don't like either one of them that much more over the other one. There's a lot I really do like about the second one where I think they clean things up. The problem I have is I feel like it has made it to where I will never again get to play first edition.
Yeah.
Since I don't own my own copy, and Zach, I know how you combined your copies together.
I mean, I combined all the monsters. I still kept everything.
You kept everything, but it's going to be too much of a pain, and it would require just so much planning to be like, hey, we're going to play first edition where I'm a keeper.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's ever going to happen again.
So I have a question. So you said, you don't like it any worse or better than the first one. There are different reasons why, right? Is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, there's different things I like about each one.
If the second edition had a keeper option.
Absolutely. Then it'd be way better.
Okay.
Yeah. Because there's a few things that the app does. For one, as a keeper, as somebody who likes to play the keeper, it's fiddly as shit in the first edition. It is ridiculously fiddly, especially during the setup. So the reduced setup time, like Zach said in the rules kind of overview there, you pretty much can open the box, fire up the app, and go. You pick your characters, and then it tells you what tiles to lay out, what tokens to place, what to do. So it reduces setup to what used to be like, sometimes almost an hour, it seemed like.
Especially for the longer ones where you have the giant maps, it took,
It seemed like it took forever.
And then one miss card and you
could screw it up.
Yes.
There was a lot of room to mess up missions.
And the app lets you play some ridiculously cool looking scenarios.
Yes.
6 hours?
So there's one that's an actual investigation.
I can't wait for this one.
I know that it is, and it takes place over multiple days, and so and you're trying to start, and that's the one that's 240 to 360 minutes long. That's Twilight Imperium level of you're spending the entire day doing that.
And if one person dies, you end the game.
Yes.
Oh, really?
Well, I mean that's it is.
If it follows the same rules,
but I wouldn't start to say that.
Maybe there's less combat in there, and
I won't say anything.
Anyway, so I like that it drastically reduces setup time. It gets rid of a lot of the fiddliness and like flipping through cards and stuff. The app, especially on the computers with bigger speakers, the ambiance from that app, like it's constantly playing music that at various times gets louder or quieter or goes through different creepy variations. And then sometimes you'll click to go explore, you'll try to open a door and you'll hear like a rattle of a lock, and it'll be like, this door's locked, you can't go in. Or you'll move over to that mythos phase and the first thing that'll happen is like you'll hear shattering glass.
Yes.
And it's like glass shards are flying through whatever room. This character has to do something,
and it names specific characters.
It does.
yeah. And so that kind of stuff I love, and it adds so much to the ambiance and overall feel of the game, which is somebody who goes back and forth between whether I really like dry, farming heroes and rich thematic dice chuckers.
You can like both.
I absolutely do.
You must only like one.
it really hits strongly, especially giving that third chance. That third game went great. I really enjoyed the third game.
Yes.
Should just use laptop every time.
Yes.
And absolutely, that's my advice. I was going to cover that to the end, but Jeff brought it up. Download it on Steam. It's a free app on Steam. You have a laptop and just do that.
Yes.
It's better than the apps.
Yeah.
Hands down.
Use a tablet in a pinch or something like. Don't. You can download it on your phone.
Make sure your tablet is fully charged.
Well, yes, definitely make sure and keep a charger nearby. Hopefully, just
It
charge.
works.
But don't even bother doing it on your phone.
No.
You can download it on it. I've downloaded just to see what it looks like. It's so small, and one of my only problems with the app is it doesn't have a back button.
Yeah, and that's caused a few problems in every game we've played.
We click it, and then someone accidentally clicks forward, and we're like, "Oh, we want to know what that said," and it's like, "Oh, we can't."
There is a message log.
There is a message log, but even still, like choosing to do something,
Going into the options.
Yeah.
And then
Well, we ran into that. You'd mentioned in this one mission there was the guy who was in the room, and you had the chance to deal with him peacefully.
Yeah.
And he was like, "No," because you sucked at doing peacefully
Yes.
stuff. And then you went to go interact again, and we thought you were just leaving. And it was like, "Oh no, now you're kicking in the door. Roll your dice." And it was like, "Well,
Yeah.
no, I didn't want to do that."
Oh no, it
necessarily.
is that it made me was like, "Oh, you try and negotiate it with them again," and I was like, "Oh no, I didn't want to do that. I thought that
Yeah.
the link said it, and then so I just want to hit go away, and then that's when it let me try and kick in the door, and I was like,
Yeah.
okay, yeah, I was going to do that first one. I was going to do the second one.
So
It can get a little fiddly.
yes, it's so much less fiddly than the first one, but
yeah,
Yes.
much.
anything with a lot, I think any sort of Ameritrash version of a game is going to be fiddly in some respects.
Well, especially something that big
Yes,
for
exactly.
an Ameritrash game.
Yes.
Like you can handle a huge Euro without it being. Well, no, huge Euros get fiddly too.
Yes.
What am I talking about? Eclipses are super fiddly. But yeah, no, I do like it. I am glad I gave it the third chance. I will absolutely play it again. It's not my favorite. I do lament that I feel like I will probably never get to play first edition again, but
You just have to buy first edition and all the expansions
Yes.
separately, and then
which are now unaffordable.
yeah. So price point.
Yes.
What do
speaking
you guys think
unaffordable.
of the price?
This is my other problem with the game. The $100 for the base game, and then you said it was like $50 an expansion.
I believe it's $50 MSRP, so maybe you can get 35. But all the expansions, they're really just
MSRP is about $200.
yes, and the collections are basically. So one thing I do like that they really did is the base game comes with a conversion kit if you already have the first edition stuff. I'm really surprised they didn't just charge $10 for that. So I almost
Cough legendary encounters.
yeah, so I almost view the second edition box of it costing $90 with a $10 conversion kit inside as well.
Sure. Sure.
But the expansions just add the tiles and the monsters from the first edition and then from the first edition expansions. So as someone who owned the first edition and expansions, I know I don't need those expansions because I already bought that.
Which I am glad they were at least clear about
Yes,
that.
yes.
I still feel like I don't know. Roughly, do you know offhand how much was first edition with both expansions?
I would say 120 to 130.
So you currently are sitting at about maybe high end 230 total investment.
Yes.
And you still have the option to go back and play all that first edition stuff with the keeper, with all the other components.
Yes, I do.
And the higher quality.
I mean, from what I've
miniatures.
heard, the investigators that came with the expansions are the same ones that were previous. So I think those look the same.
So I think ultimately, and as somebody who doesn't own any of this, I'm
you have no money.
at this point I'm kind of talking out my ass a little bit.
You don't own it, and you have a friend that owns all of it.
Yes,
so.
which is the only reason I don't own it.
Right.
If I had played this sometime and it wasn't you, one of my closest friends who I game with the most, that owned it, I would have bought it way back.
Right.
But
The first edition.
the first edition, yeah. So if I was to personally own the first edition, I would go spend, especially now that I'm sure it's under $100. The MSRP is $100. You got to be able to find it under that now.
Yeah, I think you can find it on like cool stuff for like 75 or 80 at least.
Yeah, so I think it's worth it to buy the second edition box that has the conversion kit and the app, and then now you have everything you need to play second edition.
Yes.
If you have nothing Mansions of Madness related at all, period, in your life, I feel you really need to try and play it a couple times and make sure this is something that you're going to like and want, because you're looking at spending probably at least
$150 at least.
$150 to $200.
Yeah.
It's an
That's
expensive
a
game.
It is.
lot.
I think for me, if you have the first edition and the expansions, or one of definitely get it. I think it's definitely worthy. If you don't have anything, if you have money to burn, definitely get it. It's a great game. If you're sort of tight on money,
If you're moments away from just lighting it up on your stove,
yes.
feel
if you
free
have,
to spend it on Mansions of Madness.
if you're like the person that buys one game every couple months and maybe that's it. Yeah, I know.
Those people don't exist. Those are nightmares you tell the children trying to sleep.
Probably spend your money better on something else, something cheaper that you can get more of playment through. Because even though this has variability in the scenarios, there's going to be diminishing returns.
Yep.
So yeah, that's basically
I
it.
will not be purchasing it.
Is it because I own it?
Yes.
Find someone that already owns it, and then you're perfect. That's
There you
the
go.
best. That's the best scenario.
That's the best scenario for most games.
This is
No.
Okay.
I don't.
There's a
I
few
think
I'm
if other.
really
I think
happy I
the
love.
fact that I have a friend that owns the others and a bunch of stuff, I still would have wanted to buy it.
Okay.
Yeah, ditto for me and Zombicide. You know, you've owned most of the stuff I own, and I'm glad
And
I still
more.
own it all. Yeah. I still want to buy
Yes.
Dominant Species, despite Zach owning it, because
And
I'm never
me.
going to play it with him. And
Yeah,
you.
we both own it. Remember?
Well, yeah, maybe I don't need to buy it since if I can get Jeff to start playing it. I know Zach doesn't ever want to play it.
I'll play it again.
Whatever.
Like
No, you won't.
I will.
No,
I
you
will
won't.
play it one more time at least. You just can't spring it up on me. It's something you have to plan for. That's what it is.
You have to
Okay.
prepare yourself
Yes.
emotionally,
Yeah.
physically.
Yes.
Okay.
Much like Mansions of Madness
Yes.
Second Edition.
So overall, good. Yay, nay, may.
Yeah, yeah, it comes down to, I mean, for me personally, yeah, I like it. I don't know if I'd go quite so far as saying I love it. I really do like second edition though. I think the app does add a lot, streamlines a lot of things. If you have all three of the first edition stuff, you know, go get it. Because if you have all three of them, you don't have any problem spending money on this game. So go spend a little bit more. Get the
I've
app.
got problems with spending
Not on this game.
because I already bought it. No.
Yeah. But if you don't own anything Mansions of Madness related, I highly recommend a try before you buy.
Yes.
Probably. I mean, I recommend that with most games. Anyways.
I impulse buy.
I impulse buy a lot too.
Okay.
Yeah. It's like I want to get this
To be
one
fair,
game.
I bought Scythe off
Yes.
the art alone.
Yes, you did.
Do as we say, not as we do.
Yes. Yeah. It's that $100 free shipping. You're just like, well, this is $25. I guess I have to buy $75 worth of games, so I save $15 on shipping.
No problem.
Yes.
Yep.
No issue there.
It's a really good get up you got going there, CSI. Really good. So that wraps up, I think, our review of Mansions of Madness. We all pretty much like it. We have a
Yes.
couple little complaints here and there, but nothing too major. It's a good game.
Yeah.
It does lead very nicely into our discussion of the day.
How convenient.
How convenient. We're going to be talking about different editions, second releases, re-releases, big box editions, special things like that. You know, because that seems to be kind of a trend in board gaming recently where games do that. I mean, they've been doing it for a long time.
They want to reprint games that are selling well?
Yeah, I know. Shocking.
Shocking.
Except when they don't.
Right? Which also happens.
Yes.
But so obviously we just covered Mansions of Madness pretty well. It's a example of a second edition that really changed up a lot about how the game works. It's almost a different game
Yes.
in a
But
lot
enough
of ways.
to be like, this was definitely something else before.
Yeah, it's one of the, like, you know, we were looking up different editions of games for this, and for the most part, they're usually evolutions or like just new component upgrades and stuff. This is like one of the few ones I found where a second edition like vastly changed how it played.
Yeah, I feel like another good example of that is Twilight Imperium. Twilight Imperium has changed quite drastically from first edition to third edition.
Art alone is
I had done some searching on like old editions of that game, and the first edition came out in 1999,
Oh God, I didn't realize it was that long ago.
yeah, it's 17 years.
but it looks like a game from the 80s.
It does. It's cardboard chips. The ships are just little cardboard pieces. It looks a lot like a war game would look like.
Yeah, like a hardcore 1,500-hour war game.
Yes. The art on the board, the art on the game leaves something to be desired.
Real rough.
And has it been the same designer all the way through first
Christian
and third?
Peterson, yes, this is the one where he opened up Fantasy Flight, or it might have been called something before that, but that's like the first game that that company released.
Gotcha.
Oh wow. They've come
And
so far.
certainly that game has grown of leaps and bounds to
Yeah.
hit at least the top 3 in our favorite games.
It's the only one that made it on all 3 of our top 10 lists. But 3rd edition, I think it's a fantastic. I mean, at this point, I'm ready for 4th edition, where they combine everything from 3rd edition and just keep tightening it a little bit more.
Put all the expansions in there.
They won't do that. They're
Make the box 4 feet by 4 feet.
That's the dream. But it would just, if they did a 4th edition, I would have to wait for the expansion, because I'm sure it would not come with I feel like it's 16 races that it comes with. Versus
it would come with less races for sure.
Just like I know with you with Civilization, the computer game, whenever they come up with a new one, you're like, oh man, this is so shitty compared to the old one, because the old one had a bunch of expansions and this is just the base game.
There's no religion in this game.
You say it like I'm the only one who feels that way, and that's the entire Civilization.
No, I understand that. I know you were you said that specifically.
I'm still so excited for Civ 6.
Absolutely
just stoked.
And they did just reprint Twilight Imperium 3rd edition, so it's not coming soon.
No, yeah.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate.
I know, but now you can buy it.
I know,
which is nice.
Yes, Tom Bassel, I believe every year he's like, I'm hoping TI4.
It's been 7 years.
He's been saying that. Yeah, 2005 is when that got released, so maybe even
wow. Okay.
Yeah,
I thought it was like 2009.
It might be 2009.
Okay,
it's before the teens.
Time doesn't apply here.
No,
it was in the aughts.
The aughts. Ugh, ew, that's so gross.
I hate that term.
Yeah,
I like that term.
The dirty aughts.
Yeah.
Anyway, other games, so those are games that are a good example of games that make fairly radical changes from edition to edition.
Yes.
There's a fair amount of games that don't, like different editions are just tightening things up. And a good example of this, we've covered it now in 4 episodes running, Robinson Crusoe.
Yes, that is correct. The Game of the Year edition or whatever they're calling it. Crusoe, yes.
Robinson Crusoe.
Once again, he was not part of CSI Miami.
Anyway, so they're upgrading the components, but the game itself, aside from the rule book getting better and explaining the game better, I don't think, from what I understand, the game's going to change at all.
No, it comes with another scenario, but that one was already existed in promo form, and technically, most of these upgrade kit. Like that
existed elsewhere.
Yeah,
too.
It existed as promos as well.
Probably the one thing that didn't is the actual new rule book.
Yes.
Like the upgrade kit comes with a new rule book that does a better job.
Yes.
So that seems like that's the main thing that changed from the editions, which I feel like as long as they do like what Robinson Crusoe
there we go
ended up doing, just so you guys will shut up, ended up doing where they offered as an upgrade kit that includes that new rule book and all the cool new components. That's a good way to do it.
It is.
So that way people who've had it in the past, they're not spending out for a whole new game. They get to do like a $25, $30 add-on.
I think it's $19 or something.
Even
19, $20.
$74.99.
No.
That's $5 cheaper than I originally said. Now, another game that sort of did that too with its 2nd edition is Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Except the component quality went down.
Okay. Okay. So the player board, definitely that went down. But they mainly...
The little sliders, is that what you're talking about?
As in they don't actually fit onto the card.
No, they don't.
It's garbage.
Yeah, I was wondering what was wrong with that bullshit.
Whatever.
It's garbage.
Yeah. But, they tightened up a lot of... Because, the first one came with 50 scenarios. Like, at least 10 of them were anywhere from slightly broken to pretty broken. So they just got rid of those. They added some new ones. They added some clarification, especially on the tokens. They shrink the amount of tokens you needed.
But that kills it because now you just have a bunch of generic tokens. Like, it used to be, they were specific tokens for fucking every... Yeah, you had to dig for a bit.
Yeah.
But there was a specific token for, like, every creature in first edition.
I liked how these... I know for me, it was annoying to look through all those things. And they also, like I said, they added new scenarios that I found a lot more interesting than my first edition copy.
That I will agree with. The rulebook got better and the scenarios got better.
Yes, and they fixed... So, like, you've played my first edition one. I just print up a whole new rules thing, an FAQ thing.
I still think we need that, though, for the 2nd edition that we have. Like, it still has a bunch of issues, and still, really, I should go through and just print off that huge errata FAQ.
Yes, yeah. But for that one, it was an attempt to tighten it up, like you said, was that one. They did it well in some regards, not so well in others.
Mm-hmm. I'm real excited to see how Widow's Walk turns out.
I cannot wait for that.
I feel like it's going to be much better. And especially because this isn't a re-release. This is an expansion.
First expansion, yeah.
And so I think that I'm hoping that the scenarios are better balanced.
I believe there's 50
and
new
nicer.
scenarios.
Yeah. So
and all
100
written by new
scenarios.
people that
Yeah.
like in the gaming industry
Oh,
and stuff
yeah.
like that. So
Real excited. Anyway, that's
Who
not
wants to write one?
That's not relevant to this discussion.
yes.
But yeah, so there's examples of companies like I feel like on that one Wizards of the Coast kind of dropped the ball a little bit. I mean, something as simple as like those sliders flat, they don't stay
No,
on.
they don't.
Like you have to modify.
Yes. That
your
is
game.
That is the worst thing, and I don't understand why
Just
that
use the
happened.
things from Zombicide.
I mean, a
as
simple
tokens.
play test. Like one play test should have revealed that was not working.
Well, even that is fine if it was the first printing and they're like, oh, something went wrong with the printing.
Yeah, but it's still that
multiple
way.
printings, and it's still that. That's where it's just like, really?
Fix it.
Well, people still buy it, so
And that's true.
Yep.
And I still recommend that game because
It is
it's a
it
great
is
game.
it is a fun game.
So,
speaking of fucking your customers,
oh yeah, Games Workshop.
Games
Here we go.
Workshop editions.
Here we go.
As a former employee of Games Workshop, their entire business model is based around completely fucking their
Dude,
customers.
those guys do not understand how to let the internet make them money.
They don't. They were such against internet sales for so long.
Internet sales and then like any kind of, fan-based things.
Yep. They're like, crush it beneath our Space Marine boot.
If you mention Space Marines online, you're getting a cease and
They
desist.
wanted to sue Blizzard about StarCraft and Space Marines.
I can see that.
And they're
in the
just
sense-
Marines.
Yeah.
It's fucking shenanigans.
To be
Yes.
fair, they totally ripped off
Yeah.
Games
No,
Workshop,
they
but-
totally did. But they-
totally fair.
Yeah. That's where I was like, I can see it.
Yeah.
But
it's
they
totally
call
fair.
it different things, so it's okay.
Yeah. They're totally accurate.
To be fair, when I was playing StarCraft, I didn't know Games Workshop even fucking existed. So
Tyranid? No, these are Zerg. That's
yeah, I thought Games Workshop ripped off StarCraft.
A lot of people do, and that gets a lot of people very mad.
Yep.
But wargaming editions in general, I will have specific examples for Warhammer 40,000, but one of their big editions from second to third, this was late aughts, early aughts, late 90s.
Sure.
They went from second edition to third edition, extreme major rule changes. So much so that they had to print all the existing armies in a temporary format in the back of the rulebook because all of your old rulebooks, we're just going to have to redesign and reprint over the years because
man.
good luck. And if your army was the last one to get a rulebook, well, sorry, you've been fucked for the last 3 years and not being able to use anything but a little sheet in the back of the book.
Oh, that sucks.
Yeah. Thankfully, I had joined after that whole clusterfuck, but people were still pissed about the rule changes. Specifically, modifiers. People liked, like, if you shot someone with a giant gun, you'd have, like, -5 to their armor roll, and they totally got rid of that. Major rule changes. And then every 4 to 6 years after that, they have continued to modify and change the rules, but everything is about the same. But every time they do that, here's a new rule book. Here's a new rule book. Oh yeah, that one was $30. Well, this one's $35. All right, this one's $40. This one's $50. This one's $60.
I'm amazed that there's anybody who still plays Warhammer. It must
people
be,
like it.
It must be just a ton of fun if you're into that kind of game. I'm not.
We
I'm
can
sorry.
try and haul out my massive amount of stuff and see if we can actually get wargaming going on.
Fuck
out
it.
here,
I will
but-
absolutely try at least once.
I will try it once. Although I feel
we
like
played
Hero
Hero
Escape,
Escape, and
which
I enjoyed that.
which is a much lighter version of it.
Yeah.
But it's like a, I don't want to say your first war game, but it's a yeah.
Baby's first
Yeah.
war game.
and better companies have come along and done it better, like Hordes, War Machine, Privateer Press.
Yes.
Cheaper, better, easier to understand. But the big old double fingers into the air at everyone was Warhammer Fantasy Battles. Sorry, we're discontinuing this game completely. Your new addition, air quotes, is Age of Sigmar, and good luck playing. I guess you can buy all the old rule books if you can find them. Completely discontinuing an edition that people actually enjoyed to kind of roll into what they think people want.
Right.
It's they've fucked up big time. One thing I do have to give a thumbs up on is Blood Bowl. They have whoever is in charge of Blood Bowl knows who they're talking to. People want as little change as possible and just support.
Right.
Like, come out with a little rule book. We know that the mummies fucking suck. Just make a little change to that officially so our third-party tournament doesn't have to. That I can give them a thumbs up on.
That's good.
Although I've heard that that's going to be changing, that they're
They're-
going to start fucking with Blood Bowl too, because they're going to start. It's going to start being more official now, and nobody's going to be able to use any Games Workshop.
If you
teams
play-
or-
If you play the Game Workshop tournament.
If you play in a Games Workshop tournament. Nothing is stopping you,
Okay.
Ant, from playing at Games Gen Con in that same tournament because they're not official.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Games Workshop might lay down the boot and everyone's just like, no, we're not official anymore. There's nothing stopping anyone from doing that.
Okay.
And everything everyone has said about the new rulebook coming out is that they have made only minor changes. So there's thankfully no one up in arms yet.
That's good.
Yeah. We'll see when the rulebook actually comes
Right.
out.
Yeah.
I'm really excited.
The Bloody Minute will return soon.
At some point. Yeah.
We're in the off season.
Yeah.
He was like, oh yeah, we can start playing soon. You have Great American Beer Festival. What the fuck do you think you're going to play Blood Bowl? He's like, I could fit it in.
Oh,
I could fit in Blood Bowl.
I'm sure Ant could.
Yes.
I'm gonna guess it's just like he doesn't need sleep. I've got Blood Bowl at night, and I've got Great American Beer Fest during the day.
Yeah. I mean, this is the guy who at one point played 2 separate actual physical games of Blood Bowl at the same time at a tournament.
Nice.
He's crazy pants.
Yeah,
about
he
Blood
is.
Bowl.
More power to him.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So another game that, and this is like one of the more famous cases of one where it had a great edition,
Yeah.
and then another company ended up buying the rights, and their new edition sucked in comparison.
Sucked hard.
Yeah. So Acquire is this is a game. This is a 52-year-old game now.
Holy shit! I didn't realize it was that old.
1964,
Good
and
God.
Okay.
they had editions that made changes. Obviously, at some point it became tech companies because tech companies became a thing.
Right.
Then they all popped.
Yeah, but I believe it was like the It was the late 90s edition from Avalon Hill, and it is a really nice. It's like one of the best. It's like so it has this board, but it has these plastic towers that represent the companies, and like they can be that tall. You know, couple like 3 to 4 inches tall, and these nice slide in like plastic components that to show your influence and stuff like that. But then a copy came out in like 2008 or 2006 that it turned everything into just a flat board, and then it was just like wood or cardboard tokens and stuff representing things, and it loses that third dimension and just made it go, oh, that is just completely not worth it. So the game, like the Avalon edition, is selling for $190 to $200 on eBay at least.
That's impressive.
So
Yeah.
is that the only change? Was it just a component change?
I think they made some slight rule changes and stuff too, but
And-
the main thing was the sharp decrease in component
was
quality.
this something also where the publisher changed?
I don't think this one was. I think
So Avalon
someone
Hill
ended up. Yes.
printed a great one, and then Avalon Hill
Yes.
printed a shitty one?
Yes.
That's kind of bizarre.
Yeah. I think it was because I'm guessing plastics got too expensive.
I know that.
Heroescape.
Yeah, I know that happened for a lot of games. Another game that I have a little bit of familiar with where editions have changed a bit and people have different feelings on them.
Yes.
Namely, my girlfriend Megan has very strong feelings about Settlers of Catan. The new editions with the little harbors on the flat-sided, like interlocking frame. She hates. She's like old school. She likes the ocean hex tiles that you can mix those up so the ports can be in different places all around there, and it's just freeform. And if you bump it, everything kind of fucking scatters because it's not in a frame.
Yeah.
But she and then the other thing they change each edition for Catan, they change a little bit of the art style. And this I for sure agree with her. I somewhat agree with her with the ocean tile thing. The art style I think has gotten substantial. I miss the old Catan artwork. I really liked the way it looked.
I don't think I've seen
It was
newer
much more
editions.
minimalist.
I don't play
Nowadays, it's
Catan
getting
enough
too
to
fancy.
know.
I like your metal version art.
Oh yeah, well
Vinyl
that's
stickers.
super. But yeah, I
Yeah.
mean that's damn near flash art.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
yeah, I'll post pictures of that sometime on the Twitter and Instagram. Maybe
Not the website.
not the website.
What about
Maybe
the show
website.
notes?
No, I'll do it on the website. I'll do it on the website. I'll do it on the show notes at some point.
Would you call your custom metal a big fancy edition?
Not quite a big fancy edition. It's just a component upgrade. It's more like it would be like doing a broken token ish kind. No, because broken token just does
Storage.
box storage.
No,
yeah.
yours is a component upgrade, and if someone who didn't work in a
a
with
metal
metal,
shop.
It's unaffordable.
yeah,
I'll tell you right now.
So it would be a big fancy edition.
Because I was talking over my boss with it, like because I basically went in on my spare time and used machine shop equipment. That thing, if we were to manufacture one-off runs, now if we obviously mass produced them, we could get the cost down a little
Yes.
bit more. If we were to do one-off versions of those, it'd be like $250.
Yeah.
for the tiles. And then that's not even, I didn't even ever talk to our friend who has specifically requested that I do not ever mention her in conjunction with those graphics. She does not want other people asking her to do them. But that's without even asking her.
Yes, for the prices for
the
those
cost
decals
of designing,
and stuff.
cutting, and printing the vinyl graphics that went on top of. That's
They
just
look
to cut the steel.
Exactly. So yes, it is a big fancy edition.
Oh yeah, it's awesome. It's heavy as shit.
It is.
There was a 3D version at some point.
Someone
right?
made a 3D
Everybody's
version.
got a 3D version these days. 3D printers are getting ubiquitous enough.
There was like
There's
a
a
mass
ton of them.
But like
produced
before,
version?
no.
I've never seen a mass-produced version.
But like the brick, it was like
No.
that exists.
Not that I've seen
exists.
mass-produced.
People make them. I know that. I don't
Yeah,
know
people
if there's
3D print them all the time. Heather and Matt are trying to 3D print a Catan set.
I can see that.
Checking.
Yeah. So while you're checking, speaking of the big and fancy ones, do you have any? Have you bought any big fancy editions of games at all?
Well, I haven't bought any myself. Megan just recently, for her most recent birthday, while she was in Saudi, despite asking for small gifts, her dad bought her the Carcassonne big box and shipped it to her in Saudi.
So she had to bring it back.
Yeah, so then she had to fly back with the Carcassonne big box. So that's the closest we have to any kind of like really big box expansion.
And that's more of a. That is more. Is this mass produced?
Yeah,
Oh.
that was by Mayfair.
Oh,
Okay.
shit.
It is legitimately a 3D one.
Send me a link
There's
to
like
that.
hills and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
It's on Board Game Geek.
Yeah.
Send me a link and just throw that picture
Yeah.
up on the Twitter or Instagram.
So there are a couple big box ones that I have. One, I have the Ticket to Ride because a lot of them do them for anniversaries.
Yeah.
So that one was the 10th anniversary.
When
and
you've got the Galaxy Trucker. Because
Yes,
we've told the story of how you talked me into buying regular Galaxy
yes,
Trucker.
and I have an anniversary edition of Galaxy Trucker. And that one is just a bigger box, but it's like the big
It's got all
box
the
edition. It's
expansions,
a
too.
big box one, whereas the Ticket to Ride is a fancier edition because that one costs like $75 or whatever it
Right.
was. But it had fancier trains and the map is bigger and stuff like that. And then I also have Takedo. It had a big box edition of that, and not so a designer edition of that. But I just bought the component upgrade. I didn't get the big board, but I got all the nice little figures and money, metal money and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's like, with we have on pre-order right now Seafall.
Yes.
And because we pre-ordered through Plaid Hat, we're going to get the fancy metal coins and stuff.
Yeah.
That's a little bit, I think, outside the scope of what we really are talking about here. That, like, it's one thing to just have a slightly more expensive version, or if you pre-order through the direct seller, you get some extra equipment,
I mean,
It doesn't alter the gameplay.
it doesn't alter, but I think those editions are there for people that really love the game. Because I don't think
that's true.
I don't think anyone is going to buy the Takenoko big edition, whatever they call that one, the special edition.
as their first purchase
because
of
it's like
Takenoko. Yeah, that makes
400,
sense.
200. It's at least $300. And
That 3D printed Catan was originally MSRP $500.
see, exactly.
Jesus Christ.
I know War of the Ring had a fancier edition where everything came pre-printed or pre-painted, and that was
Yeah.
like $400.
Worth it.
I'm sure that's a lot of minis in there. But I would say there are a lot of games that get editions that are the people that love the game.
Yeah.
These are people that they already own the game and they're like, I'm going to get that one because it's fancy.
That whole Small World Kickstarter controversy about
Yeah.
Small World 2. And you can also get this nice wooden box edition.
Didn't it have minis instead of the cardboards? Or is
It did not, but it had very nice wooden
Okay.
pieces instead of cardboard.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I mean, well, even we were just talking about Robinson Crusoe. God damn it. Their upgrade kit is, instead of giving you fresh new wood tokens, they just give you the stickers to put on your existing wood tokens.
For some of them, yeah. But they also give you fresh
Well,
wood
for the
to-
food and stuff,
Yes.
yeah, it's the
Yes.
food-shaped food.
So it's like what Agricola did, I believe, is that like in the earlier editions, it was all wooden discs.
Which is what I had.
Yeah, and then they started, because some people started making like vegetable-shaped, meeples and whatever, and then everyone really loved those, and they started including that in the main game, right?
I don't think it's included in the main game, but that reminds me. For Lords of Waterdeep, I really want the D&D pulls for Lords of Waterdeep.
Oh.
I've heard they make that so much better.
Yeah, I can see that. I guess for
Hopefully
me, it's
maybe-
abstracted enough that I don't
Maybe
need
a
it.
future edition.
Are they just people shaped?
Yes.
Yeah, so like
Instead of
they're
cubes.
They look like
also
warriors
The ones
instead
are
of,
warriors. Ones are like
priests.
more like rogues.
Yeah.
Ones are more like wizards.
I just want the metal coins.
Yeah,
Also, yes.
metal coins I feel like they make almost any game better.
Absolutely. So,
Every game better.
Yep.
also way more expensive.
Yes.
So I guess ultimately when it comes down to different editions and revisions and things, I wish there was a more standardized thing. And the board game industry is so just broad and random, it's not ever going to happen. But I wish there was a better delineation between this is a reprint and a reprint. I feel should be pretty much the exact same thing with maybe minor changes.
So fixes more than
Versus this is a new edition, and a new edition can have the bigger changes. And then I almost wish that there was another term for like, it's the same game, but the component quality is significantly improved. Because I feel like a reprint should be pretty much, aside from minor tweaks, the same game.
Yeah.
A new edition, the game changes. And then there should be a third version that's the components are better.
I mean, for me, I view that as like that's where the design, like some of the names I've seen are designer editions or special edition or something. I've seen some that signify it, but also the boxes look different. And they're usually bigger. Like I feel like there's enough, at least for some of them, there's enough of a way to be like, well, that one costs $75 and this one costs $40.
But that's only if they're on we mentioned Mansions of Madness. Now you're not ever going to see first edition alongside second edition, or Betrayal is actually the one I meant. But Mansions is the same way. The Mansions boxes are drastically different sizes.
Yes,
but the Betrayal boxes, similar art, similar size.
I would disagree with that. On the box, at least. The Betrayal one is a green and black, whereas mine is red and...
Oh, shit, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right.
Seeking.
Sukmadik.
All right. I think we're done.
Okay, that's fine. That's all good.
No.
We've talked.
Zach has been proven
the
correct.
only thing we didn't mention was D&D. There's a bunch of editions of that.
Yes.
We don't any of us really play a lot of D&D. I've played 3.5 and I've played Pathfinder.
Yeah.
And I'm hopefully going to do a 4th edition this winter at the condo.
Condo. Right, yeah.
I've played a lot of advanced Dungeons & Dragons, which was 2nd edition.
It looks like, just from looking at the different editions and stuff, it seems like one is like very role play-ish, and then they're like the second one, they're like, oh, let's people wanted more combat in there, so we're going to do a really combat-focused one.
And
I remember them going distinctly towards minis in 4th edition.
Oh, really?
Here's a combat map, here's miniatures.
They're trying to make it more... Yeah,
and that's how you do combat. And it really needed a map. And I remember playing 2nd edition, and just like everything's in the DM's head, how distance here is. He may have kept track a little bit on a piece of paper, but it was all kind of like, how far am I from him? Well, you're about 15 feet. And I was like, all right, I'm going to use this ability and be able to get closer and kind of stuff like that.
Yeah. I know when we played... 3.5 we had minis, but they were just on the table.
Yeah,
and
we used stuff for reference.
Little things for reference. Yeah,
it was like a pencil is like a movement.
Well, and he'd set out like, this D4 is a stalactite, this D6 is a boulder. Yeah, and there's a monster here and a monster here and a monster there. It was real rough.
The next time when we played Pathfinder, it was like we had this very detailed map, and you could have a better idea where you were. But
But no, so what you were saying, like it. With D&D, the one thing I do know from following it, because I've always wanted to be more into D&D than I actually am. I just don't have the time, and I haven't found the right group. But from what I understand, looking through the different editions, it really seems like they do an edition that's like RPG based. And then a whole bunch of people are like, oh, this breaks all the combat. I just want to do Monster Smash. And then they're like, okay, next edition is all that. And then everybody's like, oh, I want to RPG. I want to role play. I want to, make meaningful decisions and have all that shit affect the game. And then they swing back. And it goes back and forth. And I think 5th edition right now is kind of a new phase in this. I think it's going to become a 3-phase thing. This is we are trying to expand D&D back out into people. It's supposed to be a really simplified rule set, easier to get into.
Gotcha.
So that, if you have a friend who doesn't know D&D, you can be like, hey, I got this 5th edition. It's nice and easy. Yeah. Come play. You'll get it.
I've read through the rules of 5th edition just for funsies, and I like them.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a good rule.
I've actually heard pretty much unanimously good things.
Yeah. The 2 times I've played it, I don't think role-playing is for me. But I don't know.
That's fair.
I might give it one more shot.
You make interesting characters, though. That's the shit thing.
I just have to play them.
I know. Well, the thing is that, it's always just like, I like making decisions and stuff, but as soon as someone was just like, all right, I want you to tell me why I have to actually give a speech as a character or whatever, that's when I just start to go, oh, I don't want to do that.
See, and that's fair, because I'm not that way either. I don't like to give big in-character speeches. I just certainly don't want to play a D&D. We're getting way off topic.
We should probably
save this for another discussion.
Yes.
You'll hear about our opinions on RPGs later.
Yes, maybe.
Maybe.
Who knows?
When some of you get RPG experience.
I've played like probably almost 10 sessions total. So yeah,
Every 2 weeks for years.
Well,
I'm very jealous. Anyway,
that's you.
anyway, this has been
Way too long.
way too long.
Oh, do we want to talk about the email real
Yeah, we
quick?
got an email. And we have
Just-
Twitter. We have Twitter and email. We know things about
Oh, well,
things.
that's part of the email.
Emails.
Jeff has an email.
Yeah, it's from our hater again.
Yep.
ISK Grumble, because we talked about ISK and what the hell it meant.
Yes.
Look at that. Adrian's vow to keep pronouncing Crusoe like an idiot lasted all of one episode.
And it's back,
And it's
bitch.
back.
Yeah.
It's
Yep.
back.
Yep.
Holla fucking Lulia. But for the real shit, ISK started in EVE Online, which we knew.
Yes.
As anyone with half a brain knows, which we knew.
I have two halves of a brain.
Yep.
I don't know what it
EVE
is.
Online is run by CCP Games. Duh, absolutely. How you twits didn't know what CCP Games is, based in Iceland, is beyond me. I knew that.
Don't think it came up.
They have a convention every year. It's super cool. Adrian was just in Iceland. He already knows that Iceland's currency is the krona.
This is how we know that it's someone that we know.
Yes.
And by just in Iceland, like 6 fucking months ago.
Do you remember? Did you bring any krona back?
I did, actually. We used one to scratch a ticket off in Pandemic Legacy on Sunday. One of the little cards we scratched off with an Icelander krona.
And if you had two
scratch
eyes,
cards,
you would
yeah.
know that the obvious abbreviation is the island krona. For the island krona is ISK. A toddler could piece together the fact that all these games take place in a future where Iceland has taken over the world and space. Stick that up your ear holes, yours truly. So we went to the fucking source
Yes.
to find out what ISK means.
Yes.
Adrian.
Yeah, so Zach took it upon himself to tweet Indie Boards and Cards,
Yes.
IBC, and asked them what it meant.
Yeah, because
And-
I was actually curious now. Because I
Yeah.
was like, I don't. It's not a random world where
this wasn't something like last episode. It wasn't something we talked about in the pre-show. We didn't it just kind of came on the fly that we discussed. Like, wait, what the hell does ISK actually stand for? And we had some good ideas, but then this email came through that shit all over us for not having a definitive answer to something that comes up in our random chit chat. But Zach tweeted them, and then like an hour later, we get a response.
I believe it's just made-up currency found in the dystopian universe, but I am asking to see if ISK is an acronym. I inquired with our marketing director, and ISK is just the name of the money in the dystopian universe. It does not stand for anything.
and
Suck
dystopian
it, hater. Suck it, hater. Suck it, hater.
So the dystopian universe is just the one where resistance and coup and coup rebellion.
G54
Yes.
And
and
every other game.
grifters.
Yeah, that's where
and a bunch of games.
that's the
yeah.
universe. So yes,
And so it
ISK.
means nothing. It's
ISK
made
just
up.
means ISK,
Yep.
and so
Which means it could mean anything.
Yes.
Like international space currency or international standard currency or intraspace space currency. I don't give a shit. It can mean anything. Suck it, hater. Dude is raising,
I just wanted to.
Dude is raising
I just
my
wanted when
ire.
we responded to this. I just wanted to be like, well, I don't think it's that. Here's the official answer. I didn't want to say suck it, hater, because he's emailing
Oh.
us. That's something.
Oh, I did. Well, for one, like we said,
He is hating on you.
At
So
this point, he's targeted me in 2 different emails.
he has.
And I'm 100% sure it's someone that we physically know.
Oh, yeah, I'm sure it is. I have ideas, but
And I'm
we'll-
encouraging every response I can get because sooner or later I'm going to figure out who it is.
Yep. Then you just
And then
come down.
And
on
they're
them.
going to be banned from Wednesday game night.
You just need to create specific false personal information and spread it to individuals without sharing.
Yes, Game of Thrones style, and figure out which is the one that says that
It's
word.
like, I never went there. Ha ha. Gotcha, bitch.
Going to be twisted and wonderful.
Yep.
That's
That
how
seems
my
like
brain works.
That seems like a great time to end the episode now.
Yes. So if you're anybody other than the hater in the crowd, feel free to email us. Let us know what you think of this. If you are the hater, you're going to email us regardless of what I say, so I don't
Yes.
give a shit. You can get a hold of us through email. We're emails at milehighgameguys.com. We're on Twitter at MHGameGuys, and Jeff is at...
Jeff_MHGG.
Yep.
We also have Instagram at milehighgameguys, and we're on Facebook, which nobody ever goes to Facebook. We got Twitter followers.
I'm not
We
surprised.
get emails. Nobody
No-
goes to the Facebook.
Not many people go to our game night, like the official game night Facebook group too.
Yeah.
Well, I know some people do, but
Because I get like a little report about views.
I see
and
those
clicks
too.
and things.
No, I see that too. But
because you're admins on all of our
Yes.
stuff.
Yes.
Anyway, yeah. So go to the Facebook at Mile High Game Guys and like it, subscribe, comment.
And we'll have pictures
to
of
us.
that Catan 3D that you could
Yes.
never afford anymore.
$500 fucking MSRP.
It's
Jesus.
also $1,500 on Amazon by resale.
sounds about right.
Holy crap! I can probably hand mold that for cheaper.
Probably.
All right, get started on that. We'll give
on.
you a report next week on what it looks like.
It's not going to be very good.
It's going to look like Mansions of Madness miniatures.
Hey, give him some credit, okay?
Yeah. Ooh.
ouch.
Let's hope Fantasy Flight never hears this.
They never will.
They never will.
But no, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for everybody who has been listening to us and continues to listen. You know, please, if you have any suggestions, comments, questions, concerns, things like that, you have all the contact information for us. Get a hold of us. Well, clearly, even if you're obviously a friend who's trolling us, we will read your shit on air.
Yes, we will.
You know, until we start getting dozens and dozens of emails. And then maybe we'll just have a show about all the emails we get
Emails.
somewhere down
Yeah.
the line when we're popular.
Yeah.
Anyway, thank you for listening, guys. This has been another episode of the Mile High Game Guys. As always, I am Adrian.
I'm still Zach.
And I'm Cronenberg Jeff.
We will catch you guys later.
See ya.
Bye.